What is going on, YouTube? Pass the prop back here yet again. We got basketball to talk about today. We know Twitter is X, whatever it's called, on and off now. So I guess hopefully you guys are subbed here and have the notification bell on. Hopefully all of you guys are able to grab the lines where they're at right now. But join as always by my guy Stu. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Like you said, a little bit of a weird morning, obviously, with Twitter acting up. NFL free agency's going crazy. If we got some time at the end of the show, I think we'll definitely talk about that for a couple minutes. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things that you do what you do, you know? It's hard to like research stuff, you know, without Twitter. It's like a little bit annoying with all these injury reports because half of it's just finding the beat reporters and finding the quotes and stuff. And can't really do that without it right now. So it's a little odd. But yeah, overall, you know, can't complain too much. Had a good weekend. So excited to get right back into the props.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll get a quick recap in. Shout out to the 10 of you that are in here in the first minute of us going live. Obviously, we appreciate the support, but even more today when we don't have the Twitter link that I feel like everybody uses just to kind of jump in over here. So shout out to you guys for popping in and doing it here over on Twitter and having the notification bell on. We appreciate you. So, let's do a quick recap here and we'll get on our way. So, we'll just get this one out of the way because everything else is pretty good after this.
Yeah, Grizzlies first half unfortunately fucked us right here. Did not get the job done. Lost to fucking Brandon Williams 30 bomb, which was annoying. But Joe Val did cover. I guess the only silver lining was this one did move pretty fast. So if you weren't here with us live, you probably didn't get this one. So, you know, silver lining, only lost at the day, unfortunately. But yeah, Grizzlies could not seal the deal.
Yeah, we got our college one. We cashed that in. And like I told you guys, if you follow me enough, it's a wagon play at this point. And shout out to Ohio for just being an elite offense, putting up some points on these guys. And obviously Kowalczyk. No defense, play offense, and leads to really good first halves. Obviously, if you pretty much any over you took in this game ended up cashing. So ended up getting to that one pretty easy, as well as this one pretty easy.
Yes, sir. Alex Caruso in 9 minutes grabbed himself 2 steals, ended up with 3. Shout out to him. I mean, I wish the guy played more. He's really fun to bet on it, especially from a defensive perspective. If you're betting PRA, probably not. The guy finds a way to score like 6 points no matter what. But on the defensive side, he's a beast. And yeah, as long as he's playing heavy minutes, I love to back him there.
Yeah, no, for sure. We love that. And one that's a little more sweaty was Kevin Durant. Made it sweaty, but obviously he did the job late in the game, right? You kind of see he became the sniper again late in these games where you start to see when they need something. Obviously Durant's that guy. I know Devin Booker had a few earlier in the year where he kind of took over being the dude, but it's must-win situation. You got playoff stuff coming up. Like it's pretty cool to see Durant kind of take over and grab a ton of rebounds in that game, which I wish I just took PRA. It would have been a hell of a lot less sweaty.
Yeah, I forgot which one you bet, and I bet both of them. I bet points assist because I was at the bar and I didn't want to load up the show again to check, and they were both like 30.5 when I was
exactly. Yeah, they were really similar.
Like, okay, fuck it, I'm playing them both, and they both hit, so he got the job done. And shout out to KD.
Yeah, no, shout out. Yeah, not much else you gotta say about KD, man. The dude is he's a dude, man. And I know we talked about it on the show. Just kind of felt like one of those games, right? One of those games where you need it. And obviously Durant came through for us. So a 3-1 show moves us to 25 and 21. We're at 5.5 units there. And hopefully we're able to add some more today, Stu. We got a pretty loaded slate. I was about to say small. I meant small in terms of the amount of card plays we have. We got 2 spots. But I guess today is kind of a small slate in terms of games that look competitive. We see a lot of 7.5s and over. I mean, I'm seeing some 20s, bro. Never mind. 18, my bad. I think the Celtics might close at a 20. I won't be surprised to see that. So we got 17. We got the Hawks as an 11-point favorite. The Thunder as a 9-point favorite over Denver. Warriors 12-point favorite. You already know I'm betting Portland. I mean, come on now. That's ridiculous. I got to. But we got like 4 games. of this massive slate that are actually from the books competitive. What game are you looking forward to the most here on this slate?
Yeah, this is interesting because it's like not a lot of bettable games from a prop perspective right now, but some of these spreads are really interesting to me. Like, I might actually make a couple spread bets. One, Lakers only -6.5. I know LeBron has been so important and so good to them, but the Nets still fucking blow. Like, they're really bad. So that feels like that should at least be an 8.5 to me. So I'm not gonna many props because the Nets are just the worst team to bet on right now. Maybe some like Luka RA. I bet a little bit of 17.5 last night in terms of rebounds and assists. A triple double I think could be solid for Luka just with how much usage he's gonna get. But that game just catches my interest just because there's injury news. It's gonna be different. And then in the late slate, why are the Knicks only 2.5-point favorites against the Kings? Like, the Kings are good, but I was watching that game last night. If you play the Kings like straight up and you slow the game down, they kind of fucking suck. And that's exactly what the Knicks do. Like, they play the same way that the Clippers do. Clippers barely snagged a win yesterday. It took them to overtime. Now you're on a back-to-back, and you got to play the same style of team that's going to muck the game up, make it slow as hell. I know they've had some injury problems, obviously, but I do kind of like the Knicks in that late game. So that's going to be my game of the day because I'll be tapped into that one.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. I get the argument on that side. My biggest issue with that game is we haven't really seen them without Brunson that much. You know, so like I kind of have to see that. I want to see how this team actually plays because Josh Hart ain't getting a jump shot, right? You're not going to get any jump shots anywhere else because you got Miles McBride running the one, bro. That boy's shooting 30 times. Put Keon Ellis on his ass, it's over. That's why I'm excited. I'm going to be betting a lot of Keon Ellis tonight. I think he gets a little bit more minutes on a back-to-back. He didn't play a ton last night, or at least important minutes. That's my biggest issue is this team is significantly different. You see Brunson actually put up those assists. I don't know if maybe this is a point Josh Hart type of game, you know, something like that. But I don't know. I think Valanciunas bullies fucking Towns. I think if you go down anywhere else, like Levine, I think he bullies Towns. Like I think this is like
bully anybody in the league. That's a ridiculous statement.
I don't like Valanciunas that much. I said this last night. Like I said this every time. But I watched last night for like the first half, and Valanciunas looked like a dog on fucking Zubac, bro. And Zubac I like significantly more than Towns because he's physical, man. Like I looked at his stat line. I had Valanciunas in like 2 of my 4 lineups last night. What was it? 17 rebounds, like 9 points on like 5 shots, and he had 5 fouls. But he had 5 fouls for like 12 minutes, and he didn't get the last one. So I'm not a huge Valanciunas stan. You know I'm not. I tell you this every time you bet on him. I'm like, I can't. But dude, I don't know, dude. I feel like this game just kind of screams like I gotta bet the Kings. Like just because Brunson being out, like you've had 4 games of no Sabonis, so you're starting to kind of figure out how to play without it.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you're gonna run Miles McBride 40 minutes, you know he's gonna put up his shots. Like that's their best defender, dude. Like Keon Ellis is gonna probably start this game now. I'm hoping he gets that start in that spot because Malik Monk is still out. So that's what I'm like. It's just it makes it tough for me because I've been I like the Kings. I like some of their options. Obviously, I know I'm a bigger Levine fan than you are as well, which kind of adds on to this. But it's tough. It's like in college basketball when the lines just don't adjust yet because you don't know how they play without him. That's why same thing we talked about with the Lakers. It's just like, how do you play without LeBron? Like, I mean, it's just I like that the Kings, not that Sabonis is hurt, but I like that they played a couple games without him already.
Yeah.
And we kind of see how they can do it. So not that I'm going to bet either side, but I don't know. I can't fade the Kings as much as I want to yet because I've seen a little bit too much. And shout out to DeRozan, bro. The end of that game, DeRozan was a fucking beast, dude.
Yeah,
like, he still got that mid-range game till forever, dude. Like, you know it's coming too. Like that's the worst part. You know it's coming. You still can't stop it. Like that's got to be so annoying because he's not like super athletic, like jumping over guys or anything like that. But dude just gets it done.
Yeah, he's one of the few throwback guys still. And I do agree with your analysis. The positive for the Knicks would be that they've had a couple days rest. They didn't play since Friday versus the back-to-back on the other side. My things, I bet DeRozan assists live in that game. I put in my Discord at 8.5, and it was sweaty, but he did cash right before overtime started. But yeah, my thing is just like DeRozan and Levine, when you put them in these kind of slower games, because this team doesn't have any playmaking right now at all. So it's all self-creation. And like you said, DeRozan can do that. The problem is you're against the two best wing defenders in the league now in OG and Bridges. So it's like, I think they can neutralize that strength. And then it's kind of comes down to which role players can kind of take over. And that it does get tricky there. And I think it'll be a close game. I obviously disagree with your assessment of the Cat Valanciunas situation down low. I love Joe Val, but Cat, I think he gets a lot of hate, but he'll take care of business on offense. Neither of these guys do shit on defense, so both of them will probably score pretty well. But yeah, I'm excited for that. I think it'll be a surprisingly good game to end the night. Good late night hammer.
Yeah, I was just surprised. Like the Knicks in the past have been a pretty good points in the paint team. You know, like they've been pretty good at limiting that, and I know they're like bottom 6 this year in points in the paint. So I feel like that's the road, the easiest path, right? When you don't have to deal with those two. And obviously, I'll give Josh Hart a little bit. Like he tries to play defense because you kind of have to in this offense. But Miles McBride, dude, do I want to take him over Brunson like in this spot? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Brunson being out is just that's 40 minutes, dude. Like that's 40 minutes a game that you're just popping out. And I get it. I definitely understand what you're saying, but I definitely want to. I kind of think I'm going to lean the Kings side, even though they lost that heartbreaker last night.
Yeah, no, that's very fair, and that's a good discussion for this game. So I'm glad we talked it out because I'm excited to watch it, and I do think hopefully McBride he sold at a 20-1 parlay, and I just needed 2 steals from him, and he fucking sold. He got 1 in all those minutes because he's such like a defender. You know. That being said, I think I'm going to run back steals again tonight because that guy's a beast out there on defense.
For sure. I think we should be ready to go. Obviously, we got the rematch from Sunday's game with Denver and OKC. Obviously, that's probably going to be the one everybody wants to talk about there. But I don't know how I don't bet Jokic I grabbed Jokic at 4-1 for MVP a couple games ago. And obviously, I know they won yesterday, but I don't know. I keep seeing all these free throw merchant shit on my fucking timeline and shit. So I'm like, I don't really know how I can go away from wanting to get almost 5-1, or I grabbed a 5-1 on Jokic, who's averaging a triple-double, and really it's just scoring on the other side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I guess they're going to push the narrative to get him because they don't want anybody else. They don't want him to win 3 times or 4 times.
I was going to say, it's just like voter fatigue. It's funny that Jokic is arguably having his best season.
Of all of them. Yeah. Significantly better.
Now's the one where he's going to lose, but it's just how the world works. You don't want to vote for the same guy every year. Then these voters start to think about the historical, like the way people are going to look back on this in 50 years. And I don't think, I know this is, I don't think these voters want to be the guys that anoint Jokic as the best player of all time via hardware and awards. And that's kind of the direction he's going in right now. And I just don't think they want to do that. And I don't know, it's tough. It's unfortunate. I think Jokic is the right side. People were sending me SGA and their futures parlays at -400, and I wanted to shoot myself. That's insane. Playing that price at this point is crazy, but I wouldn't hate on them for giving it to SGA. I understand. It's the way the world works. Unfortunately, Jokic drops to 30 2020, and all Twitter is still negativity about the guy. It's crazy. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how I couldn't grab a 5-1 ticket. I think he's 3-1 right now. Because the first game ever with 30-20, that's ridiculous, dude. That is absurd numbers. And I mean, obviously we get some big point numbers from Shea. He's putting up 30, 40. But I mean, if Jokic really wanted to, he could do the same thing. I don't know if it could go the other way around. Obviously, when you're playing center, it's a little different ball game, and make it tough. So let's go through our 2 plays here, Stu, and then after that we'll get to questions. So let's get after it.
Yeah, and it looks like Twitter's fixed again too. So I sent out a little tweet. I don't know if you can go back up there now, but it looks like we're finally good to go. So the tides are turning, the day's getting a little bit better, the sun's shining, and now it's time for some player props. For me, I'm staying in the District of Columbia. You already know, you see the Commanders shirt on right now, the Nationals hat. We're making a little bit of a trifecta right here. I love Alex Sarr today, over 20.5 points / rebounds, -118 over on FanDuel. It's -125 on DraftKings. For me, over these last couple of games, Alex Sarr has been injured for a little bit out of All-Star break. He was, questionable a lot. He was missing a lot of games. He played 2 games coming back. He played low 20s minutes, got up about 12 and 13 shot attempts. And then over these last couple of games, he's finally back to his 28-minute rotation. He's playing full starter minutes. The good news is we have some minutes upside in this one. Rashawn Holmes has already been ruled out, their backup center. That leaves them with very minimal depth. In addition, in terms of tanking, they've already ruled out Chris Middleton and Marcus Smart. It's the first leg of a back-to-back. I'm imagining Alex Sarr will be ruled out tomorrow. That's just a guess. So what happens, I think, one, he's being projected for 28 minutes right now. I think he will hit this in 28 minutes. But I think he's going to play about 32 minutes in this one. I think we're going to see a sneaky minutes upside game. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he won't be ruled out, but they haven't really been playing him much on back-to-backs. I don't know if the ankle's bothering him at all, or it's just a tanking precaution. I don't know. But they've already ruled out like Middleton and Smart for just tanking. You know what I mean? They've already injury management ruled them out. So that tells me that they're kind of smartly playing these back-to-backs. They want to have one unit kind of healthy for one game, one unit kind of healthy for the other. Alex Sarr has looked really good these last couple games. I'm loving the aggression. My biggest problem this year has simply been, one, I don't think the guy's a particularly good rebounder, like just ever. I don't think he ever will be a particularly good rebounder, but you're the only center on this freaking team, and somebody's got to do it, and you're 7 feet tall. And it's clear that the coaching staff is like, you're never going to be the best rebounder, but you got to go down there and fight. Like, this is development season. You got to go down there and fight. And he was doing really good. He was getting bullied a little bit. I rewatched last game against Jakob Poeltl, and he was getting kind of bullied in that one. Jakob Poeltl's been ruled out, so I like that even more now that we're getting the Orlando-Washington matchup right here. Or I guess Robinson, is that his name? I don't remember.
Orlando Robinson.
Yeah, Orlando Robinson. And in his minutes, like I said, I just rewatched the game before the show. He looked really good against him. Poeltl was guarding him like from the 3-point line. Normally people just let Alex Sarr sit up and shoot threes because he's like a solid stretch big, but he's not like a great shooter. And the teams normally just let him. Poeltl contested every 3. He airballed 2 of them. So it was clear it got to his head. He didn't take any more. But when Robinson was out there, he looked a lot better in those minutes. And he just looked aggressive. For me, the clear thing is there's just been a shift in whether it's his personal priorities, whether it's the coaching staff. This is a tanking team with really nobody out there. Jordan Poole back, I think, is actually good for him because if you watched last game, he was operating the pick and roll. And since Toronto doesn't play drop coverage and they're kind of aggressive and blitzing the pick and roll ball handler, it allows pull-up shots for Jordan Poole, but it allows those easy passes, those easy lobs, those easy dunks. I just think that's something Washington is working on right now. So overall, I think Sarr's at least going to shoot the ball, 12 to 14 times in this game. I think the minutes are going to be a little bit better than the sportsbooks are projecting. This is a matchup between 2 of the worst teams in basketball. I really don't think you have to worry about elite defense from either side. I just think there's a lot of opportunities in this game for props on both sides. And I think Alex Sarr, they just haven't quite caught up to the recent aggression. It's only kind of a 2-game sample size, 2 or 3. But you got to remember, he wasn't playing full minutes before that. He was working back from an injury. He's looked really good these last couple games, even if it's not showing up from an efficiency standpoint, from just like an effort and aggression standpoint. And that's really what I'm looking for here. So I like the spot a lot. I'm a big fan of Alex Sarr tonight.
Yeah, I'll definitely tip your way on any of these spots on your team. So if you're seeing it, I believe you. I don't have the access to watch too many Wizards games, or I guess willingness to watch any of those games. So obviously when you see something in a role guy, definitely a spot that I'll be tailing for you. And I'm going to be going right back to the well. And I'm going to be playing Kevin Durant yet again. I'm going to be rolling with him in the spot against Memphis. We got a matchup with Memphis. Both teams playing on a back-to-back, so obviously that is important. I think they had a day game, right? I think they had a day game against Dallas, and they ended up getting the win there. Obviously lost against Denver, but that was the game that obviously we had the bet on Friday. I'm just looking through a lot of these game logs and stuff like that about like Kevin Durant on a back-to-back, stuff like that. So, I mean, some of these are ridiculous. Like I'm looking back at like his two or three last ones. They had a game against Chicago, obviously a fast-paced team. He played 38 minutes. The next night in Toronto, he plays 40 minutes. So I'm not like some of these games are crazy. Like Memphis, they played Memphis. He went up for 34, 3-3. Next night, he goes for 42 minutes and scores 37 in that game on just points. Like they have no issue playing this dude 40 minutes, and I fucking love it, man. He played 41 in regulation against Denver in the game that we had bet on, and that was a big thing for me, right? I know I just talked about Giannis just not getting enough minutes, and that's why you can't play any of his ridiculous lines, but I'm getting a really good price on Durant here, even though he's playing superstar for 39, 40 minutes. He's playing Thibodeau-type minutes, like, every night, and it's great to see. Obviously, I don't expect them to make a big run because you can't really play like this. We've seen that with Tibbs. Like a lot of his teams kind of run out of gas. But in this spot, I'm loving this spot. No Triple J. That is the biggest thing. The biggest thing you can have is Triple J because that is like this defense sucks now. Like it's that he's that important. He's literally that good. Like I don't know if there's anybody else in the league that kind of makes that difference. Obviously, if you want to give it to a wing defender or something like that, but or Wemby, but even in my opinion, you could put Jaren Jackson out on the outside and guard the 3-point line, and he does a pretty damn good job on that. And his wingspan's probably damn near the height of Wemby, right? I mean, it's pretty wild to watch. And obviously, I saw a lot of them in college at Michigan State playing against my Badgers, so I've been seeing it for a little while. But I could see. Could you just not see like these guys going small ball like pretty fast? Like Edey gets his 20 to 25 minutes. Brandon Clark, what the fuck? Dude's no words for Brandon Clark. I watched the game last night. Dude fouled out in like 5 minutes. It was ridiculous. He had 3 fouls in 4 minutes. That's impressive. Like, that's actually impressive. They were playing Jay Huff, and I don't mind Jay Huff. I liked him at Virginia, but fuck, dude. Like, NBA level Jay Huff, like, he is a great fantasy minute guy. I get that, but giving him real minutes, like, Nick Richards could get played off the floor here, right? I could see both of those guys kind of sitting and then playing some small ball. And maybe we see Bull as their 5, right? And they're playing just stretch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that could happen in this game because I feel like this pace is going to be pretty crazy. Obviously, Memphis, 1 or 2 in pretty much every pace category, them in Atlanta. But, yeah, it's just when you have Jaren Jackson on there to kind of get rid of those mistakes, it makes things so much easier on you. I'm looking at Durant here. If we see a little bit more small ball, because Edey did play a decent amount of minutes because of Clark's foul trouble last night, could see him on a little bit more of a minutes limit. We could see a lot more of those long rebounds heading out to Durant's way. He's averaging about 10 potential rebounds per game, rebounding chances per game. And we've seen some of these outlier rebounding type performances, right? We had 9 last night, 9 against Denver, 10 against Minnesota, and that's just 3 of the last 4 games. So I think this is a big night for Durant. I know they're coming on a back-to-back. I know he's old, but dude, 36-year-old KD, bro. I mean, almost triple-double last night, put up a huge performance against Denver. I think this is, again, what I said, when it comes down to crunch time, you want KD in there. And over those last 4 games, it's 27, 8, and 5.5, dude. That is pretty crazy. And he's not even been shooting that well, honestly. He's like 35% from 3. He's been shooting a little bit higher than that on the season. So I'm a big Durant fan. You guys know this. I got the Texas jersey. I got the Seattle Supersonics jersey in my closet. I'm going back to him. He's been good to me. Hard to pass up. Him and Cade kind of getting on that shrine of Mount Rushmore this year, my bets.
Yeah, no, and I like the spot. I like your argument, too, for the rebounding upside. It's what we always talk about. You want that, like boom or bust in both categories, right? And he's the guy that's shown, double-double potential, like, pretty frequently as a rebounder right there. And I think there will be a lot of small ball. Like, when you look at guys made in a lab to guard Durant, JJJ's pretty close to the top of the list. Like, I can't really think of too many guys I'd rather put on KD, So it's one of those things where when you take him out the equation, you're left with, like, Santi Aldama and like Gigi.
Who didn't play last night either. He didn't play either. He was out with a calf injury, I think.
Exactly. So he's still going to be questionable for this game. And then, like you said, Edie is really can't play more than like 22 minutes in this kind of situation. If he plays heavy minutes, that'd be kind of crazy, honestly. So I see a lot of small ball. Also, shout out GG Jackson. That guy fucking sucks. Oh my God.
Was that 8 minutes?
Yeah, nice 0 for 4, immediately benched. Like, nope, you're not getting back in. But once that happens, they go super small. It's like Vince Williams playing like power forward. You know what I mean? Because they have a lot of good, like, smaller guys that are still good defenders. So, yeah, I do see the rebounding upside, and I'm really not sure who's guarding him. So, definitely like the spot right here. High-paced matchup. It should be, I'm definitely tailing. KD's been good to us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 31.5 only on DK. Everywhere else is 32.5, but DK obviously I'm assuming is what most of you guys are using. I'm using FanDuel, so I have to play 32.5, but I'm using the 31 with the big boy there. Let's get a quick recap. Looks like our guy Thomas got a question in the chat. So we got 25 of you guys in here live with us. Hit that like button if you could. We appreciate you joining us on this weird Twitter day. But let's get this recap going.
Sounds good. We got Alex Sarr over 20.5 points, rebounds, minus 118 over on FanDuel, minus 125 over on DraftKings right now. I would play it up to 21.5.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I'll be rolling Kevin Durant over 31.5 points, rebounds on DraftKings Sportsbook against the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. Stu, you got a long shot at all here? I know there's a lot of games that we might not have full props out yet, a lot of Q tags on this massive slate. You can't really bet any long shots in this Jazz game because everybody's out. Any spot for you that you're looking at all here?
Yeah, the only thing I have locked in right now is I have fucking Sarr double-double, even though he's probably not going to hit it. He had 14 rebounds last game. At over, like, I don't know what the best price is, but at over 300, I think that's a look. You know, I don't really like doubling up on long shots on the guy we talked about, though. Last week, man, fucking had Wiggins, and there was no line, so we can't actually put the check mark up here. But he had the 30 bomb. He was the leading scorer, so if you did listen to any of that analysis, you did make some money. The only thing I don't see this market up right now, but I do like Sengun to be the points leader tonight. In that
I was
match.
actually just looking at that game, bro.
Oh, really? Because both teams are good on defense, and both teams force you into a lot of isolation situations. And when you look at who's best equipped to guard who, I think it kind of comes down to Paolo versus Sengun in this one. And I just love how many versatile wings Houston can throw at you and just bother you all game. Well, on the other side, it's going to be ISO. We know what the Magic do. They take away all spot up. They're very good at eliminating kind of those easy transition buckets, and they make you beat them one-on-one, post-ups in the paint, stuff like that. Sengun versus Wendell Carter is like a great matchup. There's like 14 minutes of Jonathan Isaac that could suck, possibly. The dude never
will suck, yeah, but he ain't getting more than a 3-minute spurt.
Exactly. So it's one of those things that's like, okay, Wendell Carter, Goga, I'll take all those minutes. And I think he's very live for that one. So I hate to keep bringing up stuff that's not posted right now, but hopefully it helped last time. And I'll be looking for that market when they post it once again. It just doesn't come till, later.
Yeah, I was looking a little bit more at like the Tar Easton double-double just because he's been really, really good in his minutes. And now you have no Amen Thompson. So I think I'm going to roll with that. I think I can get a 550 on that. I think that's a big enough price for me to, throw, a quarter unit on it. So that's going to be my long shot. That's the only one that I'm seeing available from that. Obviously, I know you. Here, let me actually check mine. I might actually have it on the Rivers, actually. If I can get your bet. Because I have been getting a lot of your bets. Like they do a lot of that obscure one of just right away. Let me see if I can find one here on the sports book over there by me. Because those are always fun ones. I always like playing those top point scorers. And usually it's always me betting. The only guy I usually ever do it with is Tyrese Maxey when he's actually playing and none of the other guys are. And he's like plus money. The dude just fucking cooks. So let me take a peek here. That's in the Houston game. You want Sengun or you want a Sengun, right?
Sengun, yeah.
Let's see. I don't even see it on here, bro. That's bad. Usually I see it right away. But, oh no, double up. Damn, dude, that's lame. Can't even find it here, dude. Usually these guys got everything on there for me, all these obscure ones. But
yeah, someone in the chat says FanDuel has it. That's good. I haven't seen that yet. I normally do like the DraftKings best price. It's normally GK, but it's good that that's up. So if 480 is the best price, I'll end up playing that. I would say wait for DraftKings just because DraftKings normally post some good lines for this market. But yeah, that's good. I like Sengun. And yeah, hopefully it becomes a little bit more widely available. And if you don't have it, I do like 20.5 points as well. It's just I like taking a chance on the long shot for less money instead right there.
Yeah, a lot of versatile guarding options for Houston on Banchero. And obviously Franz Wagner. They're going to have a tough day today against Houston. Seeing at 14 total. You don't see them that low much. But these are two teams I definitely could see kind of living in that low 100s range. I'm going to say.
Yeah, and the thing I like about point score is a guy can kind of suck, but if everyone in the game kind of sucks, like you're still super alive again. And that it happens so much in the NBA that people don't think about. Like the Cleveland game was the perfect example yesterday. If you bet on anyone on Cleveland, I took some Mitchell, unfortunately.
I admit
everyone had 15 points on that team. Somehow, miraculously, everyone just ended at like 10 to 15 points. Strus was like the leading with like 17. So it's one of those things. Sometimes, especially two low-paced, ugly teams, like the top scorer in this game could be like 22 points. You know what I mean? It could be that low off the bat. So definitely like that spot.
Beautiful. We have SAR. Best price double is $290 at Caesars. I know you don't like using double of the same guy there in that spot, but definitely a look there if you guys are looking for some long shots.
I will say I see into Matt Williams in the chat, one of the better volume cappers out there in the game. He's on some Trey Jones tonight. Man, I haven't bet on that guy in a minute, honestly. I haven't bet on that guy in a little bit, but hey, man, if you see the angle right there, I'll toss a couple bucks on it. But that's a name I forgot about. He's on the Bulls, right? He's not the one.
Yeah, he played a lot of minutes when Giddey was out, so I'd kind of want to have Giddey out.
Both of those Jones brothers are good passers. Now, when you tell me they got to score,
yeah, it's like watching. It's like if you ever, I want you to watch Gonzaga play tonight.
Okay.
Play tonight in a late game. Watch Nembhard's younger brother. Obviously, Andrew.
I've seen him. Oh yeah,
dude, fucking won't shoot. Like, shoot the fucking ball, dude. You have half the time you got layups, and he won't even take them because he wants the assist. I believe he's first or second in the country in assists, so obviously he's doing something right. But that's the thing is with a lot of these guys that I know that don't shoot that much, makes it tough, because obviously when Giddey's not in there and you're losing a usage rate like that, obviously I got Kobe White as the background picture of today's because he's been good to me, man. Kobe White's been good to me, so yeah, I don't. It's gonna be such an ugly game.
Yeah. Okay. There's one thing I did want to rapid fire some of these free agency things real quick before we get out of here because I'm curious. I just saw one. Carlton Davis got signed to a $60 million contract by the Patriots. He was the Lions corner last year. He sucked last year. Holy shit! Who's giving that guy $20 million a year? I couldn't believe that. That made me audibly shocked in one of them. And then I got pissed off midway through your analysis on one of them because DJ Reed signed a 3-year, $48 million with the Lions. That's a great pickup. DJ Reed rocks, one of the most underrated corners in the league. The Lions somehow finessed a corner 3 times better for $20 million or $12 million less than the guy that they lost. So I did want to bring that up. And I'm curious, did you see that Rodgers to the Steelers was reported? Like it's looking like
I don't know, dude. We'll see.
What do you think?
I don't buy that. I don't buy that one.
Really? I think it makes the most sense. When you look
it would make sense, but that means you'd have to have do you think that would fit into a Tomlin culture? Probably not.
No, but who's Tomlin had Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown on the same team, and I thought these guys were first ballot Hall of Famers. The second they leave that team, you find out these dudes are fucking insane. Like some of the craziest people on the planet. If he can deal with these guys and make them look like Hall of Famers, if he can't deal with Rodgers, nobody can. Like nobody can. You know what I mean? So
no, I get it. You're putting a lot of trust into a coach, man. Like that's more than I can put into any coach. I love Tomlin. Don't get me wrong, but fuck, dude. I think he kind of like the fact that he just said no. Like I'm not gonna stop doing the McAfee show. Like what the fuck are you doing, dude? You're just like, I just want to do whatever I want. It's just like. he would have been fine. They would have re-signed him and shit. Like, he would have been fine, but he just wouldn't buy in there. But
that's a victory, by the way. Nobody should get that guy in there. Like, the only team that benefits from Aaron Rodgers is like the Packers, or not the Packers, sorry, the Steelers right now. Like, I think they're the only team that, just because when you look at their team, how it's set up, like, I don't see anyone else maximizing these wide receivers. Kirk can't play there because he needs 10 seconds to throw. Sam Darnold needs 20 seconds to throw. We saw in the playoffs what happens when he doesn't have an O-line. Like, Darnold can't go there. He's going to get killed. There's going to be no jump balls to throw. And I did see Justin Fields to the Jets. That's the one I like. That's the one I'm a fan of. I think Justin Fields, after watching Jalen Hurts, people are going to hate on this. I'll expand on it a lot more later. All of last year, even when they benched Russ and Russ looked better, I went, Fields needs to go somewhere else, and I think Fields can win. And honestly, at the end of the year when Russ sucked again, I would start Fields in that playoff game. Because in the modern NFL, if you have a defense and you can run the ball and Justin Fields can stay healthy, it's really hard to beat a team if he's going to run 10 times a game like that. Like, it's so hard. And the Jets with Breece Hall and then your boy, Wisconsin, Allen in the background there, 2 running backs, if they can build up that O-line in the draft and free agency and just run fucking down everyone's throats and have a good defense, I actually think that's the Jets' only path to doing anything this year. And I think a lot of teams that suck could benefit from leaning into like a Justin Fields kind of team. And I know the hot take, Marcus Mariota, my boy, I hope he comes back to Washington because we need a good backup in case our boy gets hurt. But I think Mariota is better than some of these guys out there right now.
I like Mariota. I always like Mariota. My only issue with Fields is just like we've seen it already with all these not getting the ball that much. They might throw the ball 15 times. Like, that's your issue. Like, you have good receivers. Like, you have Garrett Wilson there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might as well just ship him then.
You need one good. When you only throw 15 times a game, which is you're saying is negative. I'm saying no, that's what you should try to do. Zig when everyone else is zagging. You just need one good receiver, and you have one. Garrett Wilson, a possession guy, 50-50 ball guy, a guy that can bail out a bad quarterback. This isn't good for Wilson. No quarterback that's available is going to be good for Wilson. All these guys fucking suck. That's what people are missing in all these conversations when they're like, oh, I don't want Darnold. It's like, well, congrats. Your competition is Daniel Jones. So, it's beggars can't be choosers right now. And I do feel for all the teams that do not have quarterbacks. I'm finally free from that purgatory, at least temporarily with my boy Daniels. But yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to bring up a couple of these. I even saw Javon Holland's going to make over 15 a year. It's looking like I'm just seeing these underdog notifications pop up. It seems like people are getting paid right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're getting their money, so good for them. I don't think Kobe White's sitting. I saw he's a probable, and he actually was playing on a questionable tag because I've been trying to grab quite a bit of Giddy trying to guess when White would sit, and he's just not been sitting. That's the tough part is I think he had a couple questionable tags on me, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna be able to grab all these dudes. And then they actually sat Giddy and played White, and White's just, I don't know, man. Guess he just likes basketball, man. He's one of those few guys who goes through those injuries and wants to play there. So, hey, Wisconsin is plus 700 to win the. Oh wow,
go Michigan State, baby.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that team yet. My biggest issue is they just can't shoot. They can't shoot the basketball. What happens if a team? Why every team doesn't zone Michigan State is absolutely beyond me. And maybe they're just waiting to the tournament. Like, I think Michigan State's going to fucking lose, like, pretty early. Like, I'm going to have them out pretty fast.
My mom went to Michigan State. I have a lot of Michigan family. I'm a big fan. They are so fucking stressful to beat or to bet on in March. And for me, what I've noticed through all these years is when people like Michigan State and they come in with momentum, that is like the worst time. Like, I feel like they're always good those years when people are like, it's probably
they're not on them. But I feel like everybody's on them.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna fade them, bro. I'm gonna fade the fuck out of them.
Wasn't it like 2 years ago? They were like the country's +1 to start the season. And I was just like, what are you doing? Like, these guys can't come in with I don't know. When Michigan State has expectations, this is like my 20+ year sample size, as a fan, the vibes are never good. So obviously I don't watch any college basketball. I can't tell you anything concrete, but that's my take. Michigan State, when they have the lights and the attention on them, it's kind of like the time I don't want to be on them.
Yeah, dude, I can't bet them, bro. I can't bet them. I can't bet them when they don't have any shooters. Like in March, you need to have those guys be able to make something happen out there. But it is what it is. We'll get into that. Obviously, these next couple of weeks, I'll be absolutely firing out content for college basketball. But anything else too before we head out today?
No, I'll just say shout out my Commanders. They did sign Kinlaw. That was a little expensive, a little bit of an overpay.
I was gonna say that looked like a lot of money.
Yeah, and it was just the Jonathan Allen money, by the way. They cut him, they just signed him. We needed depth and we needed big guys so bad, so I'm cool with it. But people keep like shitting on all the contracts and all the cap. Guys, money doesn't exist. Like that's the thing people run into. The Saints have been dead broke for 8 years, and they sign like new free agents every offseason. Like, it is what it is. And Washington has the most cap space in the league, but like we were getting hammered for Deebo Samuel, right? And it's like, look around. He's making 17, I think, this year on pretty much a 1-year deal that they can get out of. Christian Kirk's going to make $20 million a year. All these random guys are making 20 plus. Like the cap is out of control right now, and people aren't putting it in context. It's like, oh, Deebo has this crazy salary. It's like 45-year-old Chris Godwin is making, double that. Like it's all these guys are making so much money, and everyone is old and injury prone that's available right now. So I did want to get in my quick Deebo defense. I thought about making like a full video about it. I don't know if people would actually process information correctly. But yeah, shout out to Washington. It's going to be a good year. I know we're far away from football, but first day of free agency is always fun. And I figured, we got a couple minutes at the end to talk about it, so might as well.
Yeah, no, I definitely like Thomas bringing up the Badgers at plus 700. I think that's a good look. And obviously, you guys know I'm a Badgers fan. I have the fucking thing behind me. But, hey, one thing that wins in March, man, is going to be that age, bro, and free throw shooting at the end of the game, bro. True. Number one free throw shooting team in the country. They're shooting 82% as a fucking team. Shout out to these old dudes, man, all the old guys out there. And they actually have, I think Klesmit's missed the last 4 games as well, who's their sharpshooter, and they just can double Tanjay right now. So if Klesmit plays, definitely have a good look at plus 700. But if he doesn't, I'm not worried. They'll probably be like a 3 or 4, maybe a 5, But we'll make something happen. So, all right, guys, we'll see you Wednesday. Back here, regular scheduled time. We'll be ready to roll. Best of luck on all your bets tonight. Huge NBA slate. If you got any other questions, drop them in the comments. We'll try our best to get to them before the slate starts. And, we'll see you Wednesday. And good luck on all your bets tonight.